Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be for China and Mcclain. Before I begin, let me shuffle these two decks so I don't have to shuffle throughout the reading. This would be an interesting reading because I was meaning to have a reading done on her, but I always forgot because I'm personally curious to see what's going on with her because I believe a few weeks ago she went kind of crazy online talking about religious situations. It was just odd, especially how she was going about it. So she's definitely in the energy of courage. That's good, I guess. It's showing that she has some sort of conflict or adversity that she's pushing through. You know, it's like a heavy burden she's dealing with. Also, please like the video by pressing the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you aren't. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this reading. Okay, perfect. Time for the next deck. One second, I have a glass of water. Okay. I'm going to be using 4 cards for the header as well. So she's caught up in an illusion. You know, this is also showing me that something's not going well in her head. And that's not because of the obvious. It's just what's being shown with this moon right there and the moon above her head. And how it's the water's rippling. So it's something's happening with her mentally. So that's fucked up, I guess. But let's see what the reading shows. This is her emotions because it was face down. I mean, energy of paranoia, you know, conspiracy type of paranoia, and I promise you, I'm not reaching. This is just what I'm picking up, you know. Yeah, it's kind of she sees things that's not there. Sometimes the thing that she sees is there. But it's kind of just a lot of it is a case of paranoia or something. So, that's interesting. This came up in the Sweetie reading I did before this reading. And this is the same sort of vibe that I picked up for Sweetie. Because this is about fusion. Usually it's about bringing things together. But this is actually a separation. You know, this is a kind of hostile separation to what I'm picking up for China. Hers is a little bit more intense than Sweetie's. Alright. Perfect. So let's fill this up. Yeah, it's kind of she needs to just go with the flow. You know what I mean? I don't know what's her zodiac sign, but she definitely thrives off of the chaos and sort of the instability. So for some people, that might be too much. For me, I'm not into all that chaotic, intense shit. But for her, it definitely helps her grow. So let's see. Yeah, so this is her whole energy is really chaotic. So she's just basically taking in a lot of different information, different sort of habits, things that she's fascinated with. And she's just really caught up in a lot of chaos right now. It's actually kind of hard to break down the energy. Okay, that looks about even. So let's see what's going on with all this chaos and shit. Again, like I was telling you, it has to do with her mind. You know what I mean? Yeah, it helps her, I guess, to a certain extent. Like, you know, it helps with her creativity and all. But it's taking a toll on her body and on her mind. So that's interesting. Let's see with this growth, because it's showing that she's having growth being in this sort of like uncomfortable energy. But again, this even came up in the Sweetie reading, I think. Did it come? Yeah, I think it came up when I was shuffling. It fell out, if I'm right. I do so many readings that sometimes I get it confused, so I should just shut up and stop saying what reading some of these cards popped up in. But this is showing me like conflict. You know what I mean? It's a conflict within. You know, it's kind of like you're going to actually be able to see what's going on with her. You know what I mean? From like the outside. So it's like, yes, she's dealing with a lot of shit within, but you're going to see it sort of like come up from like within her. You know what I mean? You're going to see it sort of like manifest in the physical. So let's see what's going on here, because that has to do with her mind not being right as well. I'm not reaching. Also, for the sake of like YouTube and all this fuck shit, I know sometimes I say in my videos, sometimes I don't. But this is alleged. Wait, alleged. Does that even make it credible with me doing that? But anyway, like, does it make it credible that I said alleged, or is it just like dismissed since I've done that little hand gesture? But anyway, this is showing that she's dealing with some sort of personality disorder. You know, I don't follow these people. You know, I see them sort of like, I don't know if you call it the YouTube timeline or whatever, like, you know, like when it pops up in your notification or something. And I don't, you know, that's the only time I really see a lot of these people or even know about them, you know, but I don't know anything about her. But yeah, it'll be interesting if she does have some sort of like, because it's showing me she does, but it'll be interesting like if it's out in the open, if you guys could tell me like, yeah, she said she has some sort of like issue. But she's dealing with a personality disorder. You know, I'm getting a lot of bitter energy as well. She's really bitter about something. If you look at these dudes' face, or ladies, I don't know if they look like dudes or ladies, but no, they're dudes, I think. Anyway, I have ADHD. Forgive me. Sometimes it come out, especially when I'm like thinking about particular shit. Anyway, back to the point. If you look at their face, they look really like agitated, like something is bothering them. They're not happy about something that went down, and this is contributing to her sort of like mental crisis that she's having. Let's look into sort of this adversity that she's in. Again, this adversity is what's being shown to me is that this adversity that she's going through is just gonna help her become stronger. You know, it's gonna add more of a burden onto her situation. But this is sad because I'm not picking up good energies necessarily. Like, yeah, it's talking about like it's gonna help add on to her situation, but you know, if I'm gonna be real, the give and take is imbalanced. So it's like, yeah, whatever is being added on to her situation, it's not whatever's being added on to her situation isn't outweighing the negatives that she's dealing with. She's dealing with a lot of negativity. So that's what's being shown. Let's see. Let's look here. So this is gonna be just like one of those deep depressing readings, I guess. I wasn't expecting this, but it is what it is. You see with the I can't even pronounce this word. Catastrophe. Again, forgive me. This is showing that she's definitely going through some major shit. You know, this is like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Dragon Ball Z. And you know, like that Snake Road or something that's like in a spiritual world. I'm kind of getting like that vibe. It's like something's going on with her spiritual connections as well. You know what I mean? It's not looking too good for her. You know, I'm also seeing something's happening with her life force energy. And I usually don't talk like this, but this is what's coming up to me. So this is even more serious now. So let me chill out. Yeah, something's going on with that. I don't know, like if it's almost like something's draining her life force, or life force is leaving her body. You know what I mean? And it's all because of the state of her mind. So, you know, hopefully that gets fixed up. Let's look deeper into that. What is that about? Yeah, she's doing a lot of thinking. Like, I guess this is the problem sometimes when you think too much, or sometimes when you try to pass certain like boundaries in the physical into the spiritual realm. You know what I mean? It can cause particular crisis in your situation. So, like, I guess she's treading on some interesting energy, that's for sure. It's kind of like, you know how they have the American border and the Mexican border and all that? It's kind of like that sort of situation. It's like she's, how do I phrase this? She's traveling places she shouldn't be traveling, like in her mind, as far as like her thinking too much, and her, I guess, looking at particular spiritual situations. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like she's doing so much and she's not getting acclimated right. You know what I mean? Kind of like with the border situation, there's paperwork, there's shit that you need before you start to cross. That's if you want like safe passage for the most part. You know what I mean? She's not going through that sort of like spiritual bureaucracy. I can't even fucking, you see, that's why I shouldn't even say it if I can't pronounce it. But she's not going through the proper situation. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like she's like, yeah, she's just not, she doesn't have her proper spiritual paperwork to be traveling all these different borders and doing all this sort of like crazy thinking and shit. Like, she's already not in a good state, and it's kind of, that's why I guess this showed up as well. Like in the beginning, it's kind of just like her mental state isn't already good. You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, she has some, I guess, deep spiritual trauma. I don't know, something's going on with her. And it's like the fact that she's even delving deeper into these situations, she's not doing well, basically. I'm sorry I can't speak at the moment. My bad. It's just one of those days. I hate that, though. So let's see what's going on here, this conflict and all. Yeah, it's the same shit. Like I told you, it's just confirming what I was talking about. Like I was saying, like she's doing like mental and spiritual travels, basically, that she's not equipped for. And this is just confirming the situation. If you saw the clouds, it's symbolic of like the mist and shit is symbolic of the mind. And it's like the sun would be symbolic of like life, of like that life energy, that life force. You know what I mean? She's doing so much deep shit in the spiritual ethers that life force energy isn't able to really shine on her spirit, on her soul. So it's causing a lot of fuck shit for her. Let's look here. I know the readings hasn't been like positive lately. I don't know what to say. That's just what it is. I'm gonna pull this deck. Yeah, from this deck. Again, it's like that that same situation. You know what I mean? Like her mind. And as a spiritual person, I'll just admit that I've been in this sort of situation as well. Like when you start looking too deep into spiritual situations, you know what I mean? And I'm not talking about because you're learning from a spiritual person or something. I'm just saying like from yourself. When you start to like, when your spirit and your soul starts to look at some deep shit and you start to contemplate things, you know, eventually it kind of drives you crazy. Like this guy, if you look at this dude, right? That's like, he's almost like looking straight at us, right? But that's not the point. The point is that he's trying to like measure something or explore something with this creature or whatever. Like he's looking into like the microbial world and all that. But he's not even focused on what he's trying to research on at this point. It's like his mind is completely fried. So that's why it's not the most safest thing. You know, it's just confirming what I was saying. Hopefully you guys made it this far. Like you guys didn't just like be like, oh yeah, fuck this shit, this dude's an idiot, after I was trying to break this section down. But anyway, let's look here and see what's going on there. Yeah, I don't know. She has someone or something around her that's not helping her situation. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I think it's both. I think it's both a spirit and it's a person. You know what I mean? This rooster would be the spirit, the entity. This would be the person, and this would be also her intuition as well. And this would be her. So it's like she has a person, she has her intuition, you know, like it's all off. And it's guiding her to extreme misery and sadness. You know what I mean? You can see it's the burden, right? And this mountain, because this is coming up to a mountain. This isn't even a hill. It's like we're at the start of a huge ass mountain. So she's already broken down. So this is interesting. I'm not asking any questions. I like when the reading just flow. So yeah. But if you like me to ask specific questions on your celebs or people you would like me to ask specific questions on, I will do that gladly for a fee. So let's look deeper in this beyond illusion situation, because this was about her, like her mind, her situation, all that shit. Yeah, it was funny because at the start of reading it was about like fusion or something. I think those were one of the cards that popped up. And now it's like she's bonding herself to something that's negative. You see with this 3, it's all about conflict. You know, it's like she's bonding herself to something that's bringing conflict in her life. You know, it's almost like a parasite. So this spiritual situation is not good for her at all. Let's look deeper here. This is kind of good though, because it's saying that she has a lot of like her soul is strong for the most part. I'm getting she has a strong soul. So it's like, yeah, she's losing her life force. Yeah, she's attaching herself to some fucked up situations and she's looking too deep into shit. But this is showing me, especially like with this little bird here, that she can fly out of this situation. She could come out of this situation, especially with this 9. You know, it's kind of like, yeah, she's dealing with all this fuck shit, but she's entering into a cycle, like where the door's opening to where she can leave and not have to deal with this situation again. So hopefully she takes that, she opens that door to get out of this shit, because it's so not good. That's why you see tarot is good. Sometimes it like tells you when like you're in particular cycles so you can make the best situation out of your cycle. So let's see there, because this showed her mind is, I already made the point, but like that shit is deep. Like if you look at this dude's face, like his mind is fried. He's not even focusing on what he's studying at this point. His mind is trying to like reboot and process shit. So yeah, this is showing me, this is like a karmic situation with this past lives. It's kind of like, I don't know if this been going on since she was a kid. Like for me, I always been exploring sort of like, I was in sort of like the vibe she was in, like for a minute, like sometimes as a kid, then as a teen, as an adult. So like, I get it. So it's like the same shit she's in, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, she might end this cycle and then start a whole new cycle where it's kind of like a little bit different, but it's still the same themes of what she's getting into now. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I know that I'm not reaching. It is what it is. You know, she's trying to figure out how the universe works. You know, that situation is always interesting to me as well. You know, like that's one of the things like I'll be exploring, like when I used to do like my spiritual sort of like soul mind travel. I'm not talking about like astral projection. I'm just talking about like when you figure out things because you're feeling it from like your spirit and your mind, and you're like, you know what I mean? You don't have to do anything but just sit and just think, and then let your like energy travel, like, and then like you do that to figure out particular things, like how come this is the way it is and what's going on here. But this situation, what I've determined from my own little situations, that it's like the ocean. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it's so many, like, I don't even know, like, if you even use gallons at this point. Like, it's so much water, I don't even know, like, how deep it is endless. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's hard to determine particular things, especially when you're looking into these sorts of, like, particular deep subjects. And the fact that, like, you know, she's trying to do that and she's already not in a good place. And usually I notice that when you're not in a good place, at least that's when I did it, is when I would do these things as well. That's why I stopped, because I was like, okay, fuck that shit. This isn't good for me. But she's basically trying to figure out things that's really deep. And, you know, this is what's, you know, I told you, it's like her instinct, someone, and the spirit, you know, herself, like, it's leading her to try to determine these deeper situations of life. Let me pull a card for each of these slots, and then I'll end the reading. So let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I kind of gave a little bit of insight into my situation, right? Usually I keep it not about me, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, this is actually really good, actually. You know what I mean? It's not like a weird situation. You know, sometimes I separate myself from sort of those sorts of things so much that I forget that this is a natural happening, you know what I mean, for some souls on this earth. So, you know, she's just living out her situation. So, yeah, it seems really bad, and it seems like, oh my God, this is so horrible and all this. But it's like she's on this planet because she's meant to do these things. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is. You know, I'm just looking at it as like a spectator or something, or someone watching it from outside the window. So it seems like, oh my God, this is so horrible. But when you know that, well, this is why Spirit created her, you know, this is one of the reasons why she's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're here to do everything that you're doing, even if it's bad, even if it's good. So it's that sort of vibe. It's like, you know, it's nothing, you know what I mean? It's not outside the norm. If it's happening on this earth, it's natural, even if we as individuals don't like it. So what she's doing is natural. So it's not that bad, actually. Let's look on this side. Yeah, she's just learning. You know what I mean? It's kind of like her spirit wants to learn. Spirit wants to teach her. And yeah, it seems bad because it seems like it's a negative spirit as far as that's getting her caught up in shit. You know what I mean? Because this was about bad spirit and all that. But, like, you know, if you are religious or anything, you know that the creator creates the good, the bad, you know, the in-between, all that. So, you know, it's all part of the creator's creation. Again, confirming what I was talking about. You know, it's all part of a plan. Let's look on this side. You know, it's fucked up, but it is what it is. You know, her mind, she's going to go through a lot of suffering, you know. But it is what it is. Sorry, this couldn't be a positive reading. You know what I mean? Like, it's all part of a plan. It is what it is. You know. I could go deeper on it, but I'm good. Let's look here. Yeah, it's all that same sort of situation with her mind. You know, she's going through a lot, so I feel bad for her. I don't say that sending love and light shit. I feel like that's just corny and stupid. I feel like, you know, if you pray for someone, or if you know what I mean? Like, if you're meaningful when you say particular things, I feel like that's good. Like, you know, especially like when people give me like good messages and shit, I feel it, and it's just like, damn, that feels really good. But sometimes that saying love and light shit, it's like saying bless you. Like, it's no power in it because it's so overused, in my opinion. So I ain't gonna even go that route. But no offense to anyone that says that. You know what I mean? You do you. This is just how I feel. I'm liking the energy today of sharing, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it's a sad situation. But, you know, she's still going through her torment and all. But, you know, that's just what it is. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you think. Yeah.